Hey there, it's Kimberly Lucht, and today I want to talk about how to come out of the spiritual closet. And so if you're like me, you've been witchy-woo, spiritual, whatever phrases you want to call it, for quite some time. And it's about time that people kind of maybe knew about it. I don't know, it's a pretty big part of who you are. And so if that feels like you, today's video is for you. I want to start out with a story because I think it can help us relate to kind of this experience of coming out of the spiritual closet. It definitely sometimes can feel a little scary, especially if nobody else around you is like, I love crystals, I love oracle cards, I have a spirit guide that's a bee. And sometimes you can feel like the oddball out in any of your friend groups, and that's okay. First of all, that's like totally normal. It's something that happens to a lot of us. The first thing that I want you to recognize about yourself is that you wouldn't be called to these things if there wasn't a deeply spiritual connection within you and around you. So know that you're always safe and you're always supported, no matter what comes out of your mouth, no matter what you do or say or what people think about you, you're safe. That's the first thing I want you to remember. And the story that I want to tell is about somebody who was on a group call of mine, and she was telling me that something just wasn't feeling aligned in her business. And when we did a little digging, I realized that there's something that's being cut off in her business, and we needed to kind of figure out what that was. It turns out that she wanted to be way more spiritual and even maybe like claim the identity of being pretty psychic, but she was afraid of how that might appear on social media or within her community. And that's so common. I think a lot of us, and myself included, like when I started doing energy healing publicly, that was something that I went through too. And it's something that if you can move through it, acknowledge the fear, acknowledge the feeling, but keep moving anyways, you're gonna change so many lives, okay? So just even being able to post about it or say something to your mom or your dad or your sister about it, that is a huge step, and I want you to start wherever you feel comfortable. And so for this woman who I was coaching around this, it became really clear that there is some stuff in the body around, oh my God, I'm really scared of doing that. I don't feel safe doing that. And this can be connected to a lot of different things, okay? There can be a past life that's involved. For her, she had kind of intuition and got hits about what that might have been. And it could also be connected to just the way that people have talked about spirituality around you, of like making fun of it a little bit, or being like, oh, she thinks she's talking to the dead, or whatever it is, right? We kind of take on those stories because they're what we've been surrounded by sometimes all of our lives. So if there's a past life that's connected, or if you're just afraid that people are just kind of make fun of you, know that fear is really real, and it's okay. It's totally fine. What I want you to do is to identify where that feeling lives in your body and see if there's some sort of energy that you can pull out and open up, okay? You can do this with your hands. You can do this with an energy healer. There's so many different ways, but I really want you to notice and acknowledge where the feeling lives in your body first and foremost, because that's something that a lot of times we don't realize why we feel the way we do about certain things, and we just might never know, and that's okay. The one thing that's 100% certain is that your body always knows. Your body has a knowledge and intelligence way far beyond what our minds do. And if you feel like, I don't know if I should talk about crystals, oracle cards, spirit guides, human design, Ayurveda, if I don't feel like I can even talk about yoga, which has become pretty mainstream in the last decade, then what can I do? What can I do? Go to the body. Go within the body. See what you can unearth and uncover within the body. And a lot of times I think that energy of being afraid to show up as spiritual or as a witch or as a healer or whatever it is, that lives here for me. For whatever reason, it lives in my heart chakra. If it lives in your throat chakra, that's also very common. The stomach, also is pretty linked up to all of this. And so wherever you're feeling the fear of coming out of the spiritual closet, I just want you to notice where that is, put a finger or fingernail on that point, and just acknowledge it. Be like, this is fine. It's safe to feel this way. It's safe to feel this way. And it's also safe to stop cutting off parts of yourself, parts of your spiritual self, just to fit in. It's safe to stand out. It's safe to bring your spiritual superpowers to the forefront. It's safe to shift your business into a more spiritual realm. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe to feel this feeling. It's safe to open things up a little bit in the body. It's safe to remember a past life surrounding this. It's safe to question if your friends or your family are still going to accept you. This is a real journey, an experience that you're going through, and it's not one to take lightly. So go slow. Dive in however you feel like diving in. Know that if you're psychic, or if you channel guides, or if you connect to people like your ancestors, or like people that have passed on, or you have guides like bees and butterflies like me, or if you love your crystals, I've got one over here. Like, if you love your crystals a lot and you just like always are petting them or caressing them, or if you've got a pendulum and you make decisions off of your pendulum, or you muscle test, all of those things, you're being guided to those practices for a reason. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. And the more that you accept the fact that you're being guided, you are connected, not crazy, the more that you'll be able to be your full, whole self in the world. Whether that means when you first meet people, they'll feel that energy if you are just connected, you're spiritual. Or you'll be excited to go into conversation about that with people who might have disagreed or thought that maybe that wasn't even like a thing or real. Like, you'll be excited to dive into conversations with people that might disagree with you about spirituality or being connected to something larger than yourself. You might even be able to post on social media or your website certain services that you would have been too scared to do before. But the question is this: will you speak your truth? Will you say it? Will you spread it? Will you share it with the world so that they also can benefit from that? I'll tell you this, when I started coming out of my spiritual closet, it was quite a few years ago, of like, I love the cards, I love the crystals, love the energy work, love all those things. It made me realize that it helped other women come forward with their own spirituality. People started reaching out to me, being like, I also love human design. I also love these things. I also love to do ecstatic dance and connect with, whatever it is on the dance floor. And it made me realize, like, I'm giving other people permission to step out of their spiritual closet too. And that became even more of a thing when I started to really integrate it into my business. And people started coming to me for that specifically, of like, I want to build a spiritual business. I'm scared that people are gonna think that this isn't a real thing. It's not a real job. People won't pay for that, whatever. And I am helping a lot of those people give themselves the permission to move forward with it because they're being called. There's a really great quote that I heard the other day that something along the lines of, God doesn't call the qualified. God qualifies the called. Isn't that powerful? If you have a calling to bring your spiritual gifts to life, this is something that must be moved through. The fear must be moved through. So like I said, go slow, reach out to me if you need any guidance. I'm here for you, I'm here to support. And know that whatever ends up happening, if you end up losing a friendship or losing some sort of community or whatever it is, if you end up losing people along the way, think of Ariana Grande's Just Like Magic song. Like, send them love and light and move forward, okay? Go listen to the lyrics of that, actually. That's a really great song to kind of encapsulate what I'm speaking about right now. Just like magic, you attract it, middle finger to your thumb and then you snap it. Love that song. What? Anyways, another thing to think about too, if you're not necessarily connected to the spiritual as much as you are the religious, is you can bring religion into how you show up into the world. A lot of people think that it's not professional, or it's not something that, you know, people should do because it feels like they're imposing beliefs onto other people. But there's a way to bring in who you are and your identity within a religion or your identity within spirituality without imposing it on other people. And so again, if you feel like you're cutting off a part of who you are, a limb, physically or spiritually, if it feels like you're literally, oh, this can't show up on social media, or this can't show up in the boardroom, or this can't show up on my, you know, dates, or, you know, meeting up with friends or whatever, how much longer do you think you can go on like that without feeling like you're dying inside, to be frank? Yeah, I don't think you can go that much longer either. It's part of who you are. It's time to accept that and to bring it out into the world in whatever way you see fit. I hope this helps, and if you want more guidance with this, I think you'll really love my masterclass. It's called Abundant Coach, totally free, totally value-packed, and something that really helps when it comes to getting a spiritual business off the ground. So check out the link in the description below if this feels like something that you're being called to, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until next time, ciao for now.